Page 8, G major scale and chords. I wasn't going to do a lesson on this. I was just going to include it in the next lesson, but I'll go ahead and talk about it because otherwise the lessons get too long and you get bored and I get bored and everybody's bored. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about page 8 here. We've got the G major scale and the chords. Well, let's review scales. It's kind of important you understand this, especially if you want to improvise or compose or something. I don't know. Go back to C major. C major is our guide because it uses all the white keys and it's easy to see the patterns on the keyboard, the white and black keys. White keys C to C. Remember what a major scale is. It's a set pattern of whole steps and half steps on a major scale. So I'm starting here. So it's a whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. See, the whole step has a note in between. Okay. That's the pattern for any major scale. So if I start on a G, I follow that pattern. Here. So start here. It's a whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. This got one black key in it. There. An F sharp. G major has F sharp. Now it's time to start doing my scale video on G major. One octave up and down. You do the trill exercise, the accents, the wrist, everything I explained in the video. You may not understand why you're doing all that junk now, but please just do it. It pays off. On page 8, they show you the G major scale, the music and all that. I don't like using music with scales. I want to focus on what the hands are doing and what keys are involved. So when I see a piece in G major, like on page 9, I see the one sharp, I know that's in G major. I just play the notes in G major. I don't worry about which note is sharped. Well, whatever note is in G major is sharped. It's an F sharp. The first sharp is always an F sharp in its key signature. So that's it. So we have the scale here. Now keep in mind I've been doing this for a million years, so it's a little bit, you go real slow and do what I say in the video. Right here. At the bottom of the page, they give you the block chords. So you got the one chord. Remember, a chord number is based on the step of the scale. Let's go back to C major. Every note in the scale, there's 7 of them. Every one of them is numbered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't use 0 here. And any chord built on that note or that step is that number. So the one chord in C major is built on step 1. It's a C chord, is a one chord in C major. Well, in G major, the one chord is here. It's a G chord. 2 chord, 3 chord. Remember, there's an F sharp in G major. 4 chord. Well, that's a C chord. It's a one chord in the key of C. It's a 4 chord in the key of G. Confused yet? I got wine, we can take care of that. So we got 4 here. 5 chord. Remember the F sharp's in the key of G. You're playing the notes in the key of G here. Here. 5 chord, 6 chord, 7 chord. That always sounds the best. 1 chord. They're all numbered. So we got the 1 chord here. And the primary chords are 1, 4, and 5, 7. Those are the numbers in any key. In C major, it's the 1, the 4, and the 5, 7. Although we don't use those arrangements, we do the 1, then the 4 is here. We just put the C on the bottom. And then the 5, 7 is here. We don't use all 4 notes, we leave that out. We could use it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. We just generally don't. Same thing in G major. 1 chord, then the 4 chord is the C chord, but with the G on the bottom. And then the 5, 7 chord is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 chord with the 7th here. We don't need all the notes. I mean, we need the top and bottom note. And it's either of the middle. You could use them all, but you don't need them. Just no. So on here, we're going to use here. We're not using that note. Here. We put the F sharp on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I put the F sharp, I put the D on top here. And we'll leave out the A. That's all. It's the same pattern in every key. We did this in C major, I hope. I don't remember. That was ages ago. But here, it was just G. 1, 4, 5, 7, or a G, a C, a D7, and a G. D7, what? Well, it's the chord name, and that's the chord name in any key, but it's the number in the key of G. Each key has its own numbers, but the chord names work anywhere. So a D7, you have a D chord, which is here, and you add the 7th, which is here. That is a D7 chord, or a 5/7 chord in the key of G. Either one. So above the staff, they put the chord names, and below the staff, they put the chord numbers in Roman numerals. So a guitar player would read the chord names and improvise, and you can play along with you. And if you run across music with only the Roman numerals, they may not give you any notes for the left hand. It would just be Roman numerals. You could know from the Roman numerals which number of chord, what the chord is. Usually on fake books, they give you the melody and the chord names, and then you have to make up the other stuff. But it could be either way. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask, but that's basically what this lesson is about.